legends. Every new drop feels like the start of something. No one does it like this, we came to win. One more round, then we run it back again. We are Xbox, best brand in gaming. We are Xbox, set the whole world saying. Halo, Gears of War, they changed the game. Killer Instinct hits and we say the same. We are Xbox. We are Xbox. Hey. Halo on the screen, Master Chief in the ring. Gears hit heavy, chainsaw roar, let it sing. Killer Instinct strikes, cold, clean, fast. Every generation shows why this brand lasts. No one does it like this, we came to win. One more round, then we run it back again. We are Xbox, best brand in gaming. We are Xbox, set the whole world saying. Halo, Gears of War, they changed the game. Killer Instinct hits and we say the same. We are Xbox. We are Xbox. Forza making great moves. Fast lane, new shine. Fable got that magic, and it's all doing fine. Big worlds, bold dreams, that's the way they play. Every time they move, they make the whole scene sway. We are Xbox, best brand in gaming. We are Xbox, louder than the training. Halo, Gears of War, they changed the game. Killer Instinct hits and we say the same. We are Xbox. We are Xbox. Forza making great moves. Fable's great too. We are Xbox. That's what we do. Green glow in the room, boot up, lock and boom. One brand, one frame, everybody knows the name. From late night matches to couchside legends, every new drop feels like the start of something. No one does it like this, we came to win. One more round, then we run it back again. We are Xbox, best brand in gaming. We are Xbox, set the whole world saying. Halo, Gears of War, they changed the game. Killer Instinct hits and we say the same. We are Xbox. We are Xbox.
And we are live, everyone. How's everyone doing for the third episode of We Are Xbox, the podcast? How's everyone doing?
Good. We were just talking pre-show. We had a good daily dog. You guys are always supporting. I'm always here. We got a good thing going. Hopefully we could just keep this going. We're getting close to June 7th, where I think we're going to get a lot of answers, or shortly after, if they're going to do a post on what's actually happening. But yeah, I think it's getting pretty fired up here. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Frank.
I mean, this is like literally their do or die moment. This is the most momentum we've seen in years. And as we get closer, I'm glad there's a lot of talk and buzz around it, and they have a chance to really repair some damage. They also have a chance to really flub it up. So we have to see where they go with this. But I mean, this is like I said, this is the most buzz and positivity I've seen it in years. So I'm excited for the 7th. I hope it works out for in our favor.
I am
Sure.
completely excited for the 7th. And I hope it does work out because it's about time this company start listening to the real fans because we are Xbox, right?
For sure.
They need to hit a home run. Too many rakes have been stepped on over the years. We've done plenty of shows. I don't know if you know this, Tim, but we used to do a podcast called Xbox Goes to Hell. And every time they stepped on a rake, we went live.
Oh wow, that's great.
And every time we made an episode, we'd be like, we didn't think we'd be at this number. We didn't think we'd be at this, but they just kept screwing
Wow.
up like over and over and over again.
It was 10 or 11 episodes last year. So that was 10 or 11 rakes in 1 year.
Pretty bad.
And we would have been filming that tonight, actually, with the whole Forza debacle. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Noof, boom, boom, kaboom. Noof Nukem's in the room. He's in the chat room. Noof, if you want, you got a
Noof.
slot open. But yeah, I hope they do well because listen, we've been giving Xbox the smoke. We've been holding their feet to the fire for years on my other channel. And we always used to say, you know what? I think they got to get rid of Phil Spencer. I think they got to change teams. Like, they fired the football coach, whatever. And they actually did it. So me and Frank were like, holy shit, they actually did something. So now we got to support it. So here we go. Like, we're on the ride. So far, I like what's going on. So hopefully they keep that going. But you never know. You never know if they'll fall back into old habits.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Frank and you guys sum it up pretty well. I mean, the bottom line is that they're set up right now in a pretty good position to make some really good decisions, some good business decisions, as we spoke before. Now, people would say, well, that's added revenue, but a lot of times it's not surface level, and you have to look at things for exactly what they are. And you would say, well, it's the sales on PlayStation. But if you look further and you say, okay, well, they got a lot of momentum here. They got people interested. Everyone's asking about exclusives because people want to have exclusives because exclusives exist everywhere, in every kind of medium, and even specialized restaurants, food, fast food, you name it, cars. There's always an exclusive element. Even when you go to a bar, there's an exclusive VIP area.
Yeah.
People want exclusive stuff. So that's the main question. But here's the thing, like, okay, if you put Gears, and that's the perfect game to go because they haven't announced. If you put Gears on PlayStation 5, yes, you do get the sales. But what don't you get? This is what you don't get. You get people like myself and pretty much everyone in this room and a lot of other people's to say, F Xbox, this is too much. They can't get anything right. I'm going to spend all my money and put all the money into PlayStation, and just totally leave. Whereas if you do say yes, you get people that are half in, half out, like us and many other people, saying, okay, now we got something going. She's actually making real decisions that are tough, but they favor us for once. And now you got right now you have a little momentum. Now you have a steam train of momentum. So you're going to get that share back. Now you get all those people that would have been gone now buying games in Xbox, having a reinvigorated confidence in the brand, which is happening right now in real time. But you really, you put a stamp on it at June 7th when you do that. Furthermore, if this game was Elder Scrolls 6, I would not be making bets on it. I would not be saying that, this is a must deal, a must, a must game at this point, at this juncture. Maybe in the future, if they start really kicking off, then you have that conversation. But for starters, Xboxes actually have the perfect game, perfect scenario where they can attack this the right way, get fans back, also soften up day and date, because if they can tell us, listen, if we're going to put the game exclusive, we're going to have to take the day and day off, the day and date of Game Pass off. Everyone is going to say, okay, I don't care. Then if the game is really good, then you really got this going, because now you got a game that's going to buy more people that could buy into the share of the system and buy into your store, be potential new customers, and you move them away. You might even pick up some network ads from PlayStation, like, damn, I got to get a, or guys that just like are guys that are on the fence, whatever the case is, because you got a really beautiful Unreal Engine 5 state of the art game, which is possible. And you have all of that potential going, all of that versus some sales where, I talked about this pre-show. If, like I said, if it's Elder Scrolls, that's a totally different argument. The last Gears 5, what was the PR on that for the sales? There was none. That means it didn't sell that well. So again, it favors Xbox to make this game exclusive because the optics alone, the stability alone, the drop the mic moment alone at June 7th, where you could make this a whole thing, all favors Xbox in a large way. They can have a jackpot if this hits. Versus, okay, you have sales, and at the very best, you just have sales on PlayStation, but you still lose people like me, people like everyone here, maybe on the fence, people just fed up, bad optics. You lose all that, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's the reason why people have exclusives, is because it's a funnel to your system. It's a funnel to your eco. It's
Yep.
a funnel to your store. So you can't draw up a perfect scenario like this for Xbox, but it's only them that would take this and screw it up. And that's not to cut you off, but the reality is that you see the softening on the back channels, like Jez saying, well, they don't really have a lot of it, Xboxes. Who cares? Doesn't matter. You guys need the PR hit. You can't take the PR hit, and you need the PR. You need the PR, the good PR. At this point, we're at a critical junction. It's do or die, like Frank said, and that's where we're at.
Yeah, and I think June 7th, like you said, they got to put the stamp on it and erase all the crappy stuff, the Phil Spencer era, all the stuff that we were used to, the lies and all that stuff. You erase that on June 7th, and the fans are going to love you.
Agreed, and you'll have great sentiment towards you. Everyone's going to be pumped.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's a no-brainer. It's like I said this on my show. They're teed up. They
Yep.
just have to hit the ball, hit a home run, and it's the right decision. There's like I was arguing with somebody in a DM before this, and I'm like asking him, I'm like, you're a PlayStation guy? He's like, yeah. I said, did you own an Xbox? He said, no. Somebody gave me an Xbox One, but I didn't even use it. So the people that are you got people like Jez, who's just going to basically say whatever it is Xbox tells him to say, or he's going to fluff it up for you guys, for fans and for the casuals. And you have people like that, and you also have the PlayStation guys that want the game because they don't want to have to buy an Xbox, and you have a lot of that going out. But the reality is that the truth of the matter is that prevailing thought is exclusive matter, and that's the reason for that is because they actually do. So it's they're set up to do this right, and I really do believe that they're going to do it at the end. But I do think that we need to pressure them and keep speaking. I see a lot of Xbox fans, and shout out to all of them. Speak the truth, because this is the truth thing. If you keep beating the drum about the truth about this, it's going to become too much for them to just put the PlayStation 5 logo up and put us on a humiliation ritual 2.0. I mean, it's just at that point nobody's going to be like, they're going to be like, enough of your humiliation ritual, PlayStation for life. And then in another 3 years, they might not even, I would think that the optics would be so bad that and Helix is already delayed, that they just might pull the plug. So the reality is that Xbox fans really need to speak up. I have my email campaign going. I got 20 emails. I'm really going to put their feet to the fire, but it got to be more than us. And you got to use common sense here. This is a common sense argument, and it's clear cut.
Yeah, they had to get on it. Go ahead, Frank.
For the record, I think that stock thing is BS, but also there's a twofold approach to this. Number one, if there are really low stock of the consoles and Gears is exclusive, let the console sell out. That's the best thing you could do in the world. You know, especially Perry, when something's sold out, people go nuts. People will pay more money for it. They'll do anything to. When Pokopia sold out physically, people were going nuts for it. You could just buy it digital, but they wanted the stupid card because it was hard to find. So if you sell out of Xboxes, that's great. Also, there's 35 million Xboxes or whatever. Gears isn't going to sell more than 10 million. I mean, I don't think the stock is an issue. Like, that's what I was reading. Like, oh, well, they don't have enough RAM and they don't have enough stock, so they can't make it exclusive right now. And it's like, why not? It makes no sense.
Of course,
They're Microsoft. They could get RAM.
Great point.
Come on.
What'd you
I
say?
mean, like that's a straw man's argument. What the hell is that? That's jazz and fluff. That's back channeled shit that they're trying to hedge their bets, and they're trying to figure out a way. Because listen, if we all say we don't care, then they'll be like, yeah, we'll just put it on there. Who cares? But we do care, and a lot of people realize we're not stupid. We're not stupid. What you would want is just like you said, you have a 35 million base. When you get everything sold out, it brings the fever up. Okay, the fever is that in 3 months when the stock comes in, then they start buying Xboxes because the fever's up. So that's a good thing. You're talking about like a good fever, not a bad fever. You're talking about something where you get people riled up. Hey, I want to have that. You ever hear of FOMO, fear of losing out or whatever?
Yes.
We live it.
Fear of missing out. You build up FOMO. You build up people getting crazed. You build up people wanting something that they can't get, and then you still have 35 million on the thing to buy your console, to buy the game. Just take the day and date off. I can understand if they're gonna say, well, we have Game Pass. I don't care. At this point, you have to realize that day and date is a problem. You need exclusives. You need the economy of Xbox to be the way it was, to be the industry standard, which is buy your games. And listen, Rockstar, Kotig, there's so many people that are saying that the model doesn't work with Game Pass. You're talking about the Strauss, that guy. He said the model doesn't work. There's been many people. Jim Ryan said it does financially in the court case. Financially doesn't make sense. Guess what? It doesn't make sense. It was a Phil Spencer special. One of these fast solutions, build up the hype because you know that the subscription is going to build, but when it hits the plateau, then actually just look dumb or whatever, pivot to something else total Phil Spencer special, and the reason why he's out because he constantly did these short-term solution, long-term disasters. This is one of his disasters. Day and date does not work financially for Xbox. It is killing Xbox. So they got to get rid of day and date. The thing is that you can easily transition gears as that game to kind of soften up day and date.
Yeah.
Not going to say take away all games because you're going to have Forza 6. That's one of the AAA huge game that's going to be exclusive. You have Halo remakes. You can make it where some games are are day one, but you got your big games. They can't be, moving forward. I would say you have to have them because financially it does not make sense. And it doesn't build the. We learned Xbox Game Pass was insane, insane. The value that you had was insane. Guess what? It didn't sell any consoles. They were read down 30. So you realize it doesn't sell. It's just a basic it's a drain. So you got to fix that, and you can fix that with gears. So business sense makes sense, hype sense makes sense. You have one thing that makes sense on the for the revenue on the Sony side. Now, if that, like I said, if that money was so big, then it becomes a bigger argument. But it's not. It's never sold that way. So you have a perfect scenario again that Xbox should, and if they're listening, on the odd chance that they are, this is a common sense argument, and that's why it's a common sense. It's a common sense argument. So that's if you don't take the right choice here, it's common sense to leave your platform and never come back.
Yes.
You've had enough chances, and we're at that do or die. We're at that inflection point. There's no two ways about it. It's all set up, and there's no obfuscation of this. Like Jez can say that that whatever he can come up with any scenario. There's no scenario that can change this. So that's the obvious, and I'm stating the obvious, and I'll state the obvious to the last day, and they will either make my decision and to come back to the platform, or I leave them, sell everything, and I'll maybe sell it to whatever. I'll sell I'll give my coins away. I will never have anything Xbox in my house, and I will be a PlayStation guy. And I won't even talk about it because there's no more talking about Xbox after that. I am not dealing with them if they're not going to work on common sense. Why would you give your money to a company like that? Because in 5 years, 10
Exactly.
years, they won't answer the phone when your games are gone.
Yeah.
And they forgot, I think, that there were a lot of people, I'm sure all of us, if a Halo game or a Gears game came out, we're not waiting to play the game. Like, we'll go wherever it's at. Like, when a Zelda game comes out, I'll get any Nintendo that it has
We
to be.
went to the
I
midnight
gotta
release
play
at
it.
Best Buy. We have that on camera. We filmed that. That's on one of the
Right.
channels. Like that was over 10 years ago, right?
People will go wherever. There's games that people will not skip. If a new Halo game comes out, I don't think people will skip it. I think if it's exclusive to Xbox, they will buy an Xbox to play that game. I still think Halo has the staying power if you make a really badass
100%.
Halo game. And same with Gears. If this Gears
100%.
E-Day is really good, people will buy an Xbox to play it. It's still Gears of War. It still has power behind it, even though they've forgotten that.
And listen, Xbox does a lot of things right. So, personally, I just want them to give us. For me, exclusive is stability. I've went over this scenario 100 times. I've talked to Phil about it when we were talking pretty much ad nauseum. And when I would bring up the things like sustainability of Game Pass, he would give me the corporate lines and stuff like that. But I've looked at this situation with the exclusive situation, and I've looked at it with going multi-plat. Listen, I knew it from the start that it would be a complete disaster. I said everything. I don't know if you guys were in that space, but I said everything that was going to happen to a T, guys.
Yep.
I mean, I said this is going to be a drain. I said this is going to cost them leadership. I said they're going to get everyone fired. I said that everyone's going to leave. They're going to be a big joke. I was called crazy. I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about. I had the developer of Boulder Gate 3 making jokes at me, asking me if I was okay.
Oh,
I was exactly right on everything with Xbox, pretty much everything, even Call of Duty, which people mocked me. The truth was is that I did know that from people that Amy didn't want it, and sure enough, I was right. They lost $1 billion on Call of Duty with Game Pass. Okay, so I was right about that. I will send you, Perry. I will send you the Reddit. Basically I had that show, and ID Sloth put up all my points. Every one of those points were pretty much spot on.
wow.
Every one. But I talked about the slow bleed, take the bandage off. I talked to Ybarra a bunch of times with this. I went over and over and over. There is no way you can be in the position that they're in and not have exclusives when you have a strong competitor like Sony. They're just going to vacuum up all your fans when you put your games on their system. There's no two ways about that. Okay.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. If you do that, you're going to lose your library, or you're at risk of some wild shit happening, delist. I don't know what the future holds, them taking off servers or whatever, authentication, whatever the case may be. Your games are not safe if and Xbox hardware, all your coverage. Who can when they get out of the hardware business, they don't answer the phone. That's like with anything else. So it's a stability issue with me, and it's a hard line, and that's why I'm drawing it, because there's no way you can have no exclusives or ways to bring people to your system. If GTA 6 was exclusive, or if they gave you, if an alien race came down and said, Phil, hey, Asha, we have GTA 6, and they totally took over everyone at Rockstar, and they whatever. Let's just take a crazy scenario. And Asha said, you can have GTA 6 as an exclusive, or you can have it as multiplat. What would you choose? What do you think she chooses?
She's gonna probably choose multiplat.
I don't think so.
With the
I
way
think
they're
that
going.
she's going to choose exclusive,
I would hope she
because
would choose
that's going to get you
exclusives.
back in the game.
Right. I mean,
You
she should,
understand?
but we don't know where the hell they're going right now.
Right. Well, my point is that if you have the ability to have a huge exclusive,
Yes.
the way
You take it.
you get people in and to funnel them in is one way, is you have the game exclusive. Now, obviously, no alien's going to come down. It's a joke, but my point is that you look at this. You can look at this two ways. You can make it multi-plat, sure, and you would get Sony because all the money's on there. But if you want to get your share, you want to get your software sold at a premium, 100%. You want to gain your store, grow your store. You have exclusives, okay?
They literally
So,
had the death blow with Call of Duty and they didn't take it.
right. Well, they have the death blow of Call of Duty if it's actually good in 7 years. That's the point. You have 7 years to work where you could actually get to have exclusives be a very powerful thing for their Xbox.
Yes.
7 years goes by very quickly. And if they're in a position where Call of Duty is now back, like where it's hot again, they can have an exclusive, or they can do whatever they want. That's the point. Is like you can't take an advantage that you have when you have 40 studios. You have more studios than Sony. You can basically, you had the guy Booty saying that you bankrupt Sony by doing this. So this is not a foreign this is not a foreign argument. This is a very grounded argument that has been considered for years. Look at third-party games. They would buy third-party games to have exclusives.
Yes.
To have years exclusives. Look at Final Fantasy VII. The bottom line is
6
that
years. Insane.
exclusive have huge value. These are the problem. These are the top three things. Game Pass disaster financially, as far as it's going to kill your share. It's costing too much money. It makes the devs lazy.
Yes.
They don't take it seriously. Whatever. It has a lot of problems. Day and date specifically. There's no reason for it at this point. They tried it. It failed. Get rid of it. That's the first step, or the second step. The first step is get yourself back with some exclusives. Make it Halo, Gears, Forza at the start, and then you build it up. It's game development. You could be very crafty about it. You can release games when you want. You can make choices when you want. You don't have to stick to any kind of, you don't have to stick. You can make your own decisions. Sony's the best at that. They realize that. When Xbox had PR, they wait until Xbox PR ended, and they would say something, and they would know how to rile the fans up and get the Sony guys going right after Xbox had a big announcement. They were masters at that because they realize it's a flexible. You're dealing with a flexible. You could be flexible. Basically, you could say whenever you want. You could even make up stuff. I mean, they've done that too, and they tried that with Killzone. I remember in 2005.
Oh,
There's
yes.
crazy things that you could do, but the basically you're fighting for the psyche, or the backing of all these people, and that was a constant going back and forth with Xbox. But Xbox, for some reason, with Phil, said, "Oh, I want to be friends with you. Oh, take me to court, and I'll still give you
Oh,
my games."
Well,
So the
Sony's like
point
actively trying to kill them, and they're like, no, no, here, just take like.
Exactly. So the point is that you don't even have to be there. You don't even have to be that way anymore. But you do have to show a pulse. You do have to show that you kind of get it somehow. And exclusives, there's no two ways about it. Like, I know I'm long winded on this, but obviously I'm pumped up about it. But there's no two ways. You need exclusives. Gears is the perfect game to do it. It checks so many boxes for Xbox to do it, and it checks one that is a risk to take for Sony. The risk isn't to not put your game on. The risk is actually to put your game on Sony. That's my point. And people don't get that. And if Jez was being honest, and these guys weren't so, I want to go to FanFest and I want to be their friends. If they were actually being real about it, in my opinion, they would say this. Rand, I would think, would agree with this. You have to have exclusives. Now, Rand would probably say, well, they have, they're up to 90 million. We're only down to three. They're three. It doesn't matter. You still got to try to get yourself back in the game somehow. And you don't have to be 150 million anymore. You don't even have to be 100. You have to be Xbox One level of share and store, and you're fine because that's a doable store with what they have, with everything else, with their studios and third party. They basically can have everything that they wanted, just being at Xbox One level, and that's with them with doing the whole DRM. They've gotten so far behind that they can't. That's the goal now, to get where they suck so bad and where they were nothing. They sold 1.7 million consoles, guys. It's like, this is not. It's total
wow.
dire straits. 1.7 million consoles, and the handheld is a complete disaster. Tell me how they are going to change when they're doing status quo. A glow up and an Xbox logo doesn't do it for me. Exclusives does.
Right. And you know what, Tim? I'm going to say this. When you look at the big picture, there's a lot of things wrong with this right now. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure, they got a lot of things wrong.
after
Game
I
Pass.
wrote that letter, I proofread it, and I was like, okay, I wrote a decent letter, and then I was like, man, they got a lot of shit they can work on. It's not just one thing. It's a million
It's
different
about
things.
7. It's about 7.
Yeah,
It's
it's
about 7.
exclusivity, quality, transparency. It's just, there's so much
PC.
damage that's been done from the previous regime. It's incredible. It's amazing that Satya didn't pull the plug after he fired everybody. It's just
Well, listen, that's
weird.
part of the problem was always Satya. I'll give you the story about Satya and the whole story about him, and I could do it in a quick way. Because listen, I've been through this. I live this every single day. I talked about this, still do. You guys see how I do it. I'm constant,
Oh
everything.
yeah.
So I remember it all. So in 2013, when they had the whole 2012, they walked into the fire with DRM, and they ruined their brand, essentially knocked their brand 5 years back. But they still weren't where they are now. They're in a much better position than they were. Think about that,
Yeah.
back then than they are now. That's how bad it's gotten. So what happened was, Satya takes over for Bill Gates, and he has all these advisors, and a lot of the advisors were like, get rid of Xbox. Get rid of Xbox. A lot of people were pushing that to him, and he made a famous comment where he said, "I wouldn't be lying if I didn't listen to those people and consider what they're saying." Xbox went through a very tumultuous period. They had some girl, Julie Green, I remember, like they had like 3 CEOs in 3 months. It was a joke. Then Phil came in, and Phil, to his, to his compliment, did a good job when he first came in. He
Yes.
came in, he took away the Connect. He he did some things there, but it was kind of a really brutal blow, because the hit of the consoles, and the Connect and all that stuff started to really weigh in of May of 2013, and the sales started to crater for the hardware. He did a good job, as far as he really fought. His first 3 years were very strong, or like I felt like they got him back in the picture, or at least where they're not drowning. So what happened was, is that, again, the story of, hey, does Xbox come to exist? Do we want it? And Terry Morrison was against Xbox, and that's around 2017, and he was Phil's boss, and he was basically saying, Phil, you suck. You have all these projects, and Phil had to pivot. So Phil pivoted, and he was telling Satya that, this doesn't fit into our business model. It's not a subscription service. Blah blah blah. So again, Xbox was on the verge of extinction. So you went to 2014, where Satya was thinking about plugging it, didn't. Then 2017 comes down, and then Phil pivots. He gets rid of Fable Legends. He ends the Scalebound. He cuts all of European marketing, the football teams, makes cuts marketing in general, pivots to people like me and other people trying to get the grassroots going. And he makes the books for Xbox look a little bit better. But still, Satya is like, hey, okay, you're doing a little bit better. And then at that point, like, Satya's like, well, we're not giving you any more money. So now the studios start to take a hit. And there's nothing going on. No games being developed. They're talking about making Gears multiplayer only, Halo only, multiplayer only. Halo's a mess. And you have this all going on. So 2018 comes around. Phil Mixer comes in, and Satya was a huge Mixer guy. Phil wasn't. Satya gave all of his money into Mixer, thinking that could turn it around. It did nothing. Phil then had to pivot again, and there was a time where Phil was actually pitching to Xbox executives of just an Xbox Cloud dongle as the next Xbox, which is now the Xbox Series X and S. So Mike Nichols basically and Mike Ybarra said, Phil, you're absolutely crazy. You need a console. So Phil wanted to get console funding. So then he came up with the idea of Xbox Cloud and Xbox Game Pass, 2017, I believe it was. Mixer fails, and then he starts the trajectory of Xbox Game Pass and Game Cloud, like the cloud, and that fits into the subscription model. That fits into the cloud model. Satya gets like, says, okay, funds Xbox Series X. Huge point. Then the game problems start to crop up. There's
Yep.
no games. Phil then says, we need games. We got the subscription service. Now the subscription service is starting to sell, starting to go up. Satya is clueless. Again, Phil's giving him the Phil polish. He's saying, yeah, look at this. I got you Minecraft, this and that. Ba ba ba. Satya is going, okay. All right, yeah, this is going up. The cloud's going up because it's just naturally going to go up. It's a subscription service. He funds all the studios. Okay. Fast forward, he gets all the studios. Fast forward to 2021. Now they're doing well. Xbox Series X launches. It does well. COVID hits. Everything blows up. Now they're emboldened. Now they're like, yeah, man, Xbox is great. COVID's a false sense of confidence. He gets Satya to buy in even more. Now Xbox is going on fire. It's actually selling, doing well. Game Pass is still going up. Cloud's being getting solidified, and that transition to uh, Activision in 2022. So what happens then is that Activision comes, it gets met with all this political pressure, the CMA, the court case. That takes a huge drain on Xbox and gets Satya and everyone now looking at Xbox. They really want this Activision to go through because in their mind, Phil's saying, yeah, once you get Call of Duty, your subscription model is going to go to 70 million by 2027.
Right.
That's okay. So now we're up until 2023. Starfield comes out. They see mixed results. Then the hardware falls. That's when Ybarra was on. Ybarra then tells Phil, you got to pick a lane here. Go full third party and just be about it, or go the other way and be about it and be honest with the fans.
It's kind of what they
Phil
got to do now.
Right, exactly. So what happens then is that December comes and they realize everything failed, and Phil is again like, well, we could do this multi-plat. He pivots again. And this is the fatal flaw. He pivots, says we're going to put our games to Satya. Satya, as he said in the things, he would like all of his games. Satya is again one sold on this stuff. Okay. He says, let's go for it. Phil gets work because Amy was going crazy. We know what happens in 2024, 4 games. Then Call of Duty thing comes up. Phil says, you know what? Just listen to the numbers. It'll come up. You got to give it a chance. He does. He gets the quarterlies because now what happens is that that happens. 2024 happens. It goes through. They take the hits. The hardware is going down, but they're saying the subscription is going to go way up.
Right.
It doesn't really go way up because Call of Duty comes out in 2024 and it's exclusive. Then what happens? And I know this is long-winded, but if you guys are following me, this is exactly how it went. Q1 happens, and now they have Activision numbers on, okay? And it's up 79%. Again, Satya's not really clued in. Now Phil sells them again. Look, it's doing well. At that point, he gets Call of Duty once again because Amy's like, what the hell? Lost 300 billion. Says, give it, let's just give it a, he gets his final hurrah. At that point, he has 3 months left because he has 3 quarters left because he knows he's going to get those 3 quarters with all ups.
Right.
He gets all the 3 quarters. They're all up. That's when it falls out. Okay. Then they realize that everything is now down. We're in dire straits. Now they realize they see it for what it is. Finally, they fire everyone. Okay. And they say, and Asha comes in, and now Asha takes on a monumental 7 problem mess that Phil, which I just carried you the whole way from
Yes.
2013 on. Now we're in that position. Even with all that, what Phil did is he got 40 studios, which is he did do that. He got that. He also got them in a position where they can get themselves back. They can get people like me back. They can get you full bore on back. They can get everyone back if they just say, hey, we're going back to the old model. Return of Xbox. But they really return. If they don't really return, then it's over.
Yeah.
Do or die, like Frank said.
That's how we feel. I mean, we were through the whole thing as you explained. You know, we covered all that stuff for years on the show, but I mean, it's just so many things, like you said. You said it's a 7 problem thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
think it might be
ridiculous.
more than that. Me and Frank personally, but yeah, it's we've been through
Oh, you
hell.
got let's do it. You got the let's do the small ones. You got the viability in the stores. You guys always bring that up.
Yes,
Where the hell you go to Walmart and there's no Xbox. You go to Best Buy, there's a Hello Kitty Xbox controller and nothing else.
my
Or
wife would
whatever.
actually buy that. That would actually sell,
Right.
but they don't have those.
Right. Well, that's why they have it up because they have something stupid, but they
Yep.
don't have anything for real fans.
No.
So, okay, that's one problem. We're going to go to small problems. So, second problem, they have no advertising at all. They're not
None.
even advertising in Christmas catalogs. Okay, they're totally non-existent. They're irrelevant. Okay, so that's 3 problems right there. They're pretty much they're not irrelevant anymore. She fixed that, but they were irrelevant
Right. There's a
when
lot
she
of buzz
came
around
on.
it right now.
Okay, right. There's a lot of buzz around that, so that's one down. But we're at 2 problems. They don't have any advertising at all.
No.
And then they have the problem of soft channel, back channel guys like Jez, Rand. Even I would put Rand in there. Guys, apologists, Paris, you name them, that give this false sense of conditioning that work on fans with no brains that just say, yeah, well, everything, who cares who we play. They don't think of it past step 2. They just see step 1, surface level.
Right.
So they have an image problem with that. Real fans like us, we're the bad guys. So that's a small problem, but that is a problem that you have mouthpieces in the media game journalism field that aren't being real about the situation. They're poo-pooing people like us that are giving you real scenarios, real commentary, the real deal. And so you have, and they're obviously they have 200,000 followers, this and that. Colt, I mean, Colt's all right. I'm cool with Colt, but Colt is not really leading the way with this. So, but the point is that you have a lot of their social media is being paid, and or they're being given perks that they look at the situation and they rose-colored glasses. They're not real about it. So we're at 3 problems, and those are the small problems. We can add to them. So then you have the no exclusive problems. It's a huge problem. Okay. Then you have the day one Xbox economy, which is a huge problem. Then you have the PC um, problem where you had the Forza whole situation. They don't pay for online. They're treated better than us as console gamers. The PC whole, your games are all over the place. You can't have a cohesive message. That's another problem.
Oh, yeah.
Then you have this problem where the confusion problem. Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. There's so many things. You can buy a Helix. It's going to have a storefront that's a hybrid, never been done. They're all over the place. So we're at 7 now, and we can add more. I mean, I'm sure I left a couple out, but you got major problems here, major, and that's why I say you start with a real one. And you try to get people back. You had 9. You had irrelevancy, which was a really bad. They kind of fixed that,
Right.
and you kind of got a positive vibe. You had a negative vibe. They kind of
But
fixed
you see
that.
how easy that was to fix? Whereas Phil Spencer was just sitting there letting it just waste away. You know what I mean? Like,
You see how easy it. That's a great point. You see how easy it was to fix. Guess what? It's the same thing with Gears.
yeah.
And you'll see how easy way public perception goes when they do the right thing.
Yes.
The problem is they're afraid sometimes, I think, to do the right thing. They get in the way of themselves because they have too many cooks in the kitchen. They don't have somebody like Peter Moore that says, "Shut the f up.
Yes.
This is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be done. Do your job, or you're fired." They have so many problems. But I do think on the positive side, not to be a Debbie Downer, because I wouldn't be in this position if I wasn't very excited on the other hand.
Right.
They can fix this. They can get the momentum going. And in 7 years, we could be actually doing this show saying, make Call of Duty exclusive. Who cares? Everything else is exclusive. Why not make this exclusive?
Right.
And I might be getting death threats on Twitter, but I don't care. I'll be 57 at that point or whatever. And I'd be like, I'm on my way out anyway. But the
Oh
point
man.
is that well, I got more years now because I'm much healthier. But the point is though, it really is that simple though, Perry. It can be that simple. But they just have to make it that simple. They have to change their energy. And I think that Asha kind of like something about her makes me feel that she actually gets that.
Me too.
Like she actually gets that, it's an energy thing. It's a boldness thing. Take bold. Like the things that she's saying make a lot of sense, and the things that I've heard make are good things. So this isn't a dire situation. If Jez is saying something, you shouldn't lose. When I heard that stuff a week ago, and that was told to me by somebody. I told you pre-show who you told me, but they gave me a tip. They said, "Oh, they're talking about, they don't the gears, and they're making excuses, this and that." Because I knew the talk was there. I didn't even bat an eyelash. I said, "Okay, I know that that's part of the game, or part of this buildup, but I also know that when June 7th gets here, uh, all this energy and all this talk that we're doing, it's going to come to a plateau. Like it's going to come to a point where they have to choose,
Yes.
and there's no way to hide, and there's no way they can hide this. There's no way they can get Jez to fix this. There's no way they can if they try to do the stupid thing. There's no way out.
Right.
But if they actually just do the easy thing, they will be given flowers, and they will be they will be the hero.
Yes.
So it's the
Absolutely.
mic drop. It's the mic drop that's ready to be dropped. It's there in her hand. Just open your hands, Asha.
The fans are
It's that
waiting for
simple.
this, and the fans are telling
It's
you.
that simple. The fans are telling you, but that's going to intensify. I'm going to send my email. And you know what? I know how they work in corporations. I'm going to send my email very respectively, professionally. I'm going about it the right way. I'm sending it certified mail so that, there's, I know, I'm going to put attention. I'm going to let people like Aaron know. I'm like, Aaron, I'm sending this. I'm just letting you know this is going to be what it contains. I'll send it to you I'll send it even to you in a PDF, whatever you want. So there's no like, stupid shit that's going on. Like I had to read through some of the emails. I got one from Top Gunner. I don't know if you guys, the guy's like purposely writing crazy shit in there. So like, like I'm stupid. Like I'm just gonna just not read the emails. I'm taking it seriously. I'm putting my time to it. I'm going about it professionally, but I'm also not going to be crashing out if they do the wrong
Right.
thing. I'm just going to say, thank you. I'll make money. You're selling all my Xboxes, and you know what? I'm getting GTA 6 on PlayStation 5. At this point, I have the Pro. I'd be
Yes.
stupid not to, but guess what? If Xbox does the exclusive, I'm going to get GTA 6 on Xbox. That's the difference, and so will you, maybe, Perry. Or I think
If
we
they get it
all
running at 60, I'll get
Yeah, as long as it's
well,
free.
yeah, I do think that they do, but I'm still getting it for even if they do run it. But that's the way I
I'll
roll.
get it
It's
on
just because
everything
I
just so we
want
can all play together. I'll do it
right.
anyway.
But that's the point, and I think we really covered it well. I mean, if you can go through that whole play by play, that's actually the way it really happened. I mean, I was really thinking about all the, when I'm bringing up people like that Green girl, whatever her name is, Marjorie Green. Nobody even knows that person, but that person was like 2 weeks as an Xbox president because they were just so in flux. Their structure for Xbox was an afterthought, and they were, they had like Marjorie Green. I got to find out her name. Somebody maybe in the chat, or I'll try to find it out. I asked it as a trivia question last year, and somebody got it. But the point is that that's really the way it went down. Phil, a lot of times played a clock game on Satya, and in a way, he kind of, not purposely, but I think he did have an affinity for the fans. I'm not going to say Phil. Phil wanted us to have an Xbox, and
Right,
if I
right.
do give him a compliment, it's that he tried to just keep it alive. But he was always working behind an eight ball. He was working behind people that wanted Xbox dead, whether it was Terry Myerson, whether it was a couple of the advisors. I forgot their names, but there were people in the organization that were like, Tennis Pinot or whatever. Like they were like, get rid of it. Like this doesn't align with what we're doing. The margins are not even close to what we get. This is not our company. Why are we confusing the situation? And Phil was always fighting those people. And Phil was always in Satya's ear on good days. Phil got the Minecraft, which was probably his biggest get as an Xbox executive, which he got by basically DMing the Minecraft creator when he made a post, because Phil was very active on social media, and the I forgot his name, but he made a post, and it was like kind of like a melancholy post, and he said, "Hey, like, what do you want to do that?" Phil also got the Activision deal, which turned out to be a disaster. But listen, I thought it was a great idea.
We all
But
did.
who would have thought that, who would have thought Call of Duty Online went offline, that mobile game, that they thought was going to be huge. The metaverse, that was another thing. Satya was talking about the metaverse. What the hell was he talking about? That just goes to show you how clueless he was.
Right,
He
right.
says, well, the metaverse is the future. It's like, okay, what are you, Mark Zuckerberg, who, just basically
You
the whole
promoted their
VR, and he
brand.
just closed down the VR, he closed down the whole VR thing. Like that was like, they have big dreams, but a lot of times the dreams are just not realistic. And the point is that Satya was talking about metaverse and this Activision merger. What is Xbox doing that's metaverse?
Right.
Did he even know what metaverse is? Like that's how crazy it is. It's like you really had a guy in Satya that is absolutely clueless to how video games
But you
is
see,
run.
Tim, to the
Clue-
general public, that's a huge disconnect. And that's why a lot of people will not go with Microsoft because of what you just said. The main
Yeah.
guy
Agreed.
doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about. So why would the fans care? Why would just gamers care in general? Like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'll stick over here on Sony where they kind of know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you said, it's all
Yeah.
optics from head to toe. It's like these rich people can't dress themselves in the morning. You know what I mean? You see,
Yeah,
you
true.
see rich people and they dress like shit, and you're like, really? You have all that money, you can't dress yourself like?
Yeah,
You guys are right though that he's just clueless, because it's the same thing with the exclusives. He's thinking of it from a standpoint, well, why wouldn't I be in more markets? He doesn't understand the whole picture. It's like if you were Ford and you were like, hey, you could sell Fords in South America. Oh, I can. Let's throw them over there too. Like, yes, for certain things it works. For this industry, it does not work that way. And he's completely clueless about that.
Great point, Frank. You're really hitting it today with these points too. I gotta give you a lot of credit. Great point. And that's just like the tone deaf 30% profit margin. Like this is video games. Sony's at 15 if they're lucky, with a profit margin. Remember when they had the 30% mandate?
Well, wasn't that
no one's ever hit that number.
We always thought the 30% mandate was just to get them to wrap it up. That's what we thought.
Yeah, like an unattainable number.
Yeah, I think no, I honestly I think it was they were fighting, they had inward fighting, and Amy was not a fan of what she inherited, and she saw the books and she realized that, hey, we need return on investment.
Yes.
And that was the whole thing. And now that return on investment maybe eased up a little with Asha. I think it did. She asked for a lot of time. She asked for a long-term card. But again, yeah, Satya, listen, it's like Jim Dolan and the Knicks. There has to come a point where you just take yourself out of the equation,
Right.
where you say, I am not capable of stretching myself this far and being about it. He has to basically really let her be a CO and stay out of it because he doesn't understand why putting exclusives on on PlayStation means so much. He
Yes.
thinks he just looks at it as a money thing, just like he looked at the margin thing as a money thing. Like, oh yeah, just make it about this, fix it up. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way with exclusives and optics. It does not work that way. You basically funnel everyone to PlayStation. You kill your store. You kill your share. You kill your brand. You kill you kill your word of mouth.
He should just
I
hand
mean,
over
it's like
Microsoft to Elon Musk then, if he really doesn't believe in exclusivity, right?
exactly,
Right. Just
exactly.
hand the
Great
keys
point.
over.
But see, that's the thing is like he's a brilliant man.
I know.
But
I
it's
can't
like
figure out.
this is a very specific situation. The sad thing is like Sarah was brilliant too. And these people are very high IQ, but they don't understand the
It's a simple
trenches.
problem to fix,
It's
though.
like you can't. Yeah, I agree. But the thing is that they don't understand the trenches. They don't understand what goes down. They understand. It's like a rich person not understanding what it is to live in a suburban community. They
Yes.
live far away. They have a fence around their yard, and where real things happen, they're like totally inconvenienced and they go crazy.
Yes.
But like people that live in a neighborhood that's suburbia, we deal with every little thing and we know everything. Somebody's parked in front of your house and you're pissed off, or you tell them to move or say that's my spot. Whatever the case is, just situations that come up never come up for the rich person living in a gated community or
Yes.
somewhere on a 5-acre piece of land that has a football field on it. They don't have normal things happen like that, so they don't understand it. And that's the same thing here. Like, to draw an analogy, it's the same exact thing. There's so many things that go day to day with competition in Xbox and PlayStation that and it's an insatiable thing where everyone wants news. They want little things. They harp on little things, like little tidbits come out and gets blown up. The core has always influenced the casuals. If I sat with the brilliant man Satya and I say, what do I mean when I say the core influences the casuals in video games? Give me an example. He would say, "I don't know what the hell you're talking about." He would not know how to answer that question because that's a very specific question, and it's been said for years. It's like the arguments that come out first and the talking points that come out first from the core that are blown up on social media, they filter out to the casuals. Okay, and that's the exclusive thing, like where all your games are one stop place in PlayStation that festers, and that's talked about by me and you and Porter Rock and all these other people. But the little whispers after that come out of there, they permeate with the casuals, and then the casuals tell another casual, and then it becomes widespread. That's what happened with Connect. That's what happened with DRM. The 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 core understood what DRM meant to physical games, and after that it spread out and it got to casuals, and 7 years later they were saying that I can't own my games with Xbox. 7 years later, think about that. So it's always the core always dictates to the casuals. The core arguments, the core talking points always umbrella out to the casuals. And then the casuals just go on. They're brainless. They're bots. They're just going to say, okay, Xbox has a problem with games. I can't own my games. What does that mean? Why is that commercial? Everyone's talking about it. Okay, uh, PlayStation. You know what I mean? That's what GameStop employees. They all pointed you to the
Oh
PlayStation.
yeah.
X. Those are the problems. And again, that's how widespread it was on the word of mouth core arguments against Xbox with Xbox One. Now you have obviously now different generations, different arguments. Xbox's arguments right now, they have some on their side, but a core one is like you can't have everything on PlayStation. You have Halo on PlayStation, a casual goes, "What the hell? I thought what?" Destiny was a perfect example of what went on. People thought Destiny was a PlayStation exclusive. Did you
Yep.
guys remember that?
Oh, I remember.
That was because of the marketing.
Yep. No, I remember
And
that.
that filtered out to the general public. I remember somebody saying to me, "Hey Tim, this is like a 45-year-old male that's like casual games." He goes, "Why isn't Destiny on Xbox?" I
Oh
said,
man.
"What do you mean?" I said, "What do you mean? It's on Xbox." He goes, I don't know. I don't think it is." I said, "Why do you say that?" And I knew his answer. But the point is that people like that, the casuals, are absolutely clueless. So when you hear and see Halo and Gears on on PlayStation, you're like, "What is going on?" I don't think Xbox is, transgender. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. You know what I mean? Like they don't you don't understand what the hell they're doing, what they are. And that's the problem. Nothing against transgender. It's just the thing is that's an argument like that comes up. Like what is that? Is it a guy or is it a girl? And then there's confusion. So there's confusion the same way. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a bad analogy. I don't know, but the point is that I think you guys get it. That you gotta have when you get to the mindless levels of like just normal people, and they don't really look at it for what it is. They don't know, and they just say, "Okay, I'm just going to get the easy choice and get the PlayStation."
Well, I'll tell you something too. A lot of people that I know that are casual gamers, but they're kind of hardcore gamers. When they see Halo on a PS5, they think Xbox waved the white flag and they're just turning around and saying, "Yeah, we don't care about Halo. PlayStation can have it." You know what I mean? Like that's the perception. The perception is Microsoft doesn't even care about their own games. On top of that, like that's what I'm saying,
Right.
man.
So
There's a lot of problems I gotta fix, and that's
it's compounded. It really is
yeah,
compounded. So you have to try to uncompound it by having a really big energy. Hey, Gears is an exclusive mic drop.
yes,
You have to do it in a way where you're like WWE, like you throw a mic at and you just like she comes out. I'm being dead serious. You
yeah.
have to have theater. Like
No, you do.
they're afraid to have theater because, oh, what will they think of us? It's like, dude, the way it is
You're a
now.
$4 trillion company. Who cares what they think of you?
I know,
Jeez.
but the way it is now with way, there's things now that are said that are absolutely outrageous, and people are like, it's okay. Like, not to bring up, but there's like a guy Chud the builder. This guy's out of his freaking mind. 5 years ago, that person would not even be able to be on social media, and you could argument rightfully so, but now it's just gone the other way where anybody can say anything basically, and it's freedom
Right.
of speech, and in a way that's good. But the point is that Xbox doesn't have to worry about their image now. All of a sudden they don't have to, they don't have to play this PR game. Say, and this is not even anything to do with anything like race or anything really high powered. This is about video games.
Yes.
So make it about video games and say, guess what, guys? It's exclusive, and you drop it and you have the mics do all of the voice effects where it drops, where it goes, and the whole freaking dude, everyone would be like, I'm spending money. They people react to that type of energy. they wig out in a good way. Like they're like, oh man,
Yeah,
I
I
love
know.
that. That's balls. That's balls. People are dying for that now. They don't want to see friendly shit. They don't want to see. Right now, we're at war. Right now, nobody cares.
Right, right.
Have some balls. Stop being afraid to have some have some vigor in your
Camaraderie or
step. Like,
something, you know?
like
They
stop.
need the
Yeah,
balls back. That's what I've been
they
saying too.
need
Like
it.
they need that
Like,
punch.
you don't go to a basketball game and then like the Knicks just go, hey, we're just gonna forfeit to the Lakers. You know what I mean?
yeah, right. Or give all their
Hey,
players over
we're
and
gonna put on let me put on a Laker jersey, but you know what? I'll just
Yeah.
I'll wear it inside out. Like, dude, it doesn't work.
no, and it's there.
People want easy things to especially with video games. They want easy things to understand. They want normal things. They don't want out of the ordinary things. Casuals we're talking about. When you put all your games on the exclusives, not a casual comes up and says, well, if everyone can game, we all should game. Let's have a utopian view, which may be the right view if you really look at it. Like, who cares who's playing my game? It's just not the way it is.
Right.
You're being disingenuous. It's not like that. It's like a genuine. What really happens is a casual comes in, sees Halo on PlayStation, and they say, "What the f is this? What is that? Like, what I thought Xbox was. What is that?" And they look at Xbox in a way that they don't understand it. Like they say, "What is it? What are they
But
doing?
can you
Do they
imagine
give
the
up?"
optics now, Tim, when someone walks in the Best Buy and they see Halo for PlayStation on the shelf and they go, what happened to Xbox? And they don't see Xbox anywhere.
Yeah, they'll have
Very
physical
They're gonna
very
think
good
it's
copies
dead.
for PlayStation, but not Xbox. Probably. You're
Well,
probably right.
That's why I would pull it. That's why I would pull it.
you
I would
can,
still
you
argue.
know,
I know that's a much harder argument to have,
it's a harder
but
argument, but they pulled ports before, not Microsoft, but other companies have pulled ports
of
before. They've
course.
canceled ports.
And you can't get sued. You could just say, "Listen, it's just we had a
Just say, hey
Wisconsin
guys, it
that was
wasn't up to quality.
we had a
We told the
Wisconsin that
CMA
was
that we
running
weren't going to do that.
Xbox."
Remember?
Yeah, I mean, you literally could say we had an insane guy running Xbox beforehand, and we've changed management. We're not, and nobody. And listen, you're not going to get sued because the reality is that when you're telling the truth, you don't get sued. That's pretty much it when it comes to this stuff. And the truth of the matter is that if you went to court, and it won't do that, it wouldn't get to this point, but you could just really have this argument in front of a court, in front of a judge, and say, "Listen, let's do Paramount Plus has exclusives. Let's do Roku TV has exclusives. Let's do Apple TV has exclusives. Can you name me one media company that does puts all their stuff?" And everyone says no. Okay, so you have
Even
25
Disney's
companies
taking
doing
their own movies
exclusive.
off and putting them out on other platforms. Like it's
Right.
crazy.
Right. So you have 25 companies that have exclusives, and then you have this one lone company with prior management that tried something that didn't work. The console sales, let's say you were down a net 253% once we went to this route. We realized it's not the way. We can't have our games with our direct competition. Refer back to 2022. We had a whole entire argument about having
I got that backwards. I'm sorry. Netflix, Disney pulled all their stuff off Netflix. That was the whole thing.
yeah, listen, the truth of the matter is exclusives make the world go around.
Yes.
You could go to Wendy's has whatever.
The
They all have
Baconator.
something different. Baconator, where I want a Baconator at Burger King. Now, if I could go to Burger King and I could get the Baconator, the Big Mac, I can get whatever the case is, I would go there. Like, if it's going to be the same genre of like the same food and the same thing, why wouldn't I take the thing with more options?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they don't do it. It's a funnel to your eco. It's a funnel to your store. It's a funnel to, and on the flip side, too, with Gears, when you put your game on PlayStation, you don't get the full 100% of the game. Where if you sell it on Xbox, you get the full 100%.
Yes.
So you get 70%. The PlayStation Store cuts 30% out. So again, you have to sell that much more on PlayStation to make up all the benefits that we gave you of having an exclusive. So I'm just done with having these arguments where it's like, come on, okay, where are you from? Oh, I'm a PlayStation guy. All right. What's your slant? Why are you not being why are you being disingenuous? Oh, there's always a story. It's a PC guy or something like that. It's never a guy like that's been a hardcore Xbox fan that was, uh remembers how they were, what they were saying. I mean, if you brought these arguments up in 2018, you'd be laughed at on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember, like that people were trying to say exclusives were anti-consumer, and everyone laughed at them. Everyone said you're a conspiracy theorist. So it's like it didn't make sense, and it
Right.
still doesn't make sense. Some conspiracies make sense, but this doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm really going on the analogy bandwagon, but you know what I mean. You guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
It's really clear cut. It really is.
And you said that they're afraid to go full bore with exclusives. Well, guess what? You shouldn't be afraid because the other way ain't working. So
Exactly. You tried the other way.
bet on
And
yourself
it's
for
not,
once.
Not that it's not working. It's making you irrelevant.
Yeah.
Again, I told you. You guys know I do the numbers. I always look at the analytics. The analytics in January were so abnormally bad. I couldn't believe it. People that were Xbox influencers like Jez, they were getting like 65 likes, whereas when they were at when Xbox was doing good, they were getting like every post 1,000, 2,000, 700.
I've seen the live chat rooms taper off on a lot of the podcasts.
Yeah, and believe me, those guys knew too.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Xbox Era. They said we're going to be PlayStation guy, or we're covering it. We're fresh start, and that was a pivot because they realized Xbox was becoming irrelevant, and they actually didn't want to have the association with Xbox. Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's your hardcore. And I like Nick. Nick is a good guy, decent guy, but that's not Xbox guys, in my opinion. Xbox guys are guys who really stand up for what's right for Xbox and at least speak out. You could say anything. I was a very, very, very strong defensive person for Xbox for a while, but I always gave them shit behind the scenes. I always said get studios. I always had fights with Ybarra saying you guys suck. What's going on? I've always said this is unacceptable. I've always made my points. Aaron used to even said it in FanFest. Tim's always wants the best for us, and he always is basically making us better because he always is saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I do, because I'm a real Xbox fan. I want them to be the best. And I realize that they're not going to be the best if they're going to have stupid, uh, stupid arguments and stupid, like exclusives. You had 2 years. You had 2 years to prove me wrong when I basically left my platform, lost 10,000 followers, lost perks to go to plane tickets, to go to parties, to go to this, to go to that. I lost all of that because I said, you guys are in for a disaster. And everything I said came true. It really did.
We followed everything. Like you saved us a lot of money a couple of years ago when you sounded the alarm. Because I was like, wait a minute, Timdog, if he's saying this stuff, something's up.
It's not good.
And I told Frank,
and
I was
something
like,
was up.
I was like, man, we gotta put the brakes on Xbox for a little bit, and we did. And then all this stuff started crumbling down. And we were like, man, this guy was right, and everyone's crapping on him online. It's like this guy was telling us everything. He was warning us.
Oh, listen, I don't have. I mean, listen, it did suck. I remember there were like some people taking shots at me on E3, like people that I got into like people that I've got into their spots. Like it was like kind of shitty, bro. Like like
Yeah, I don't like
but
stuff like that.
whatever. But the point is that I'm even over that stuff. I actually would like to be cool with everyone and be like, hey, Xbox is good. So why don't they just do some good things? That's my
Exactly.
point. Like that's all I'm at. And if they don't, then it's over. It's at this point it's a dead subject. You're beating a dead horse. If they can't come to the point where they stand up for themselves and they start acting like a professional company that's actually run by professionals, which I do think Asha is, um, then there's no hope for them.
Right.
Even if they do Gears, it's still a big uphill battle.
Yes. Absolutely.
You gotta still go after them and put their feet to the fire. But this is definitely a defining moment for them. It's an inflection point, and it's a point that I knew was going to be. I knew this was going to happen, and that's why. And I knew there was talk about it, and that's why I pivoted so hard on it. That's why I said. That's why I bet my account. That's why I did all that stuff because I knew that it's going to either be this or that, and it sure is. And we're a month away, so getting closer. It's going to be fun, but hopefully they can drop the mic and actually have some energy and actually have some chutzpah to them. Like they need to have that moment, and it'll be a great moment. They need to have their this is the way we trade our games moment, and this won't be on that level. That was on an insane high level,
Right.
and it changed everything. But you know what? This will be a pretty powerful moment, and they can have it. It's going to be a real deflating moment if they say it's going on PlayStation 5. It'll be a joke moment, and
They need to call this their, and you can have this one too, their return to Xbox moment.
right, yeah, it's pretty much you could have that clip for years. Everyone will remember it, and that's what I'm hoping they do.
Like you
And I
said,
think that
have somebody come out, even if it's Asha, come out, cut a WWE promo, be like, "We're Xbox and we're back, baby." Drop the mic or throw the mic, whatever you want to do. Just get that crowd roaring as you leave that stage, and boom, you're done. Everything is fine. But then, like you said, you got to
it's better than
keep
their
the
current
momentum.
trajectory
Yeah,
because we know what happens when we have exclusives when they don't have exclusives, and this is the wrong game.
right.
Again, if this was Elder Scrolls 6, I can understand the argument why you can't do it.
Yeah, because that's always
The
a
argument that Des
legacy
is bringing
multiplat.
up, right? Like, yeah, like okay, but this is something like we talked about. Xbox is defined by that.
And Gears,
By Gears.
despite what people say, they really didn't kind of screw up Gears to the level that they screwed up Halo. So Gears still has a chance. You know what I mean?
I thought Gears 5 was actually pretty good.
I liked it.
And then Gears Hive was
High
maybe the
Busters was
best game
awesome.
I
We played
played,
that online
or the
together.
best looking game I played.
Yeah, it was really colorful. It was good.
I think it rivaled many games on PlayStation. It was the best. It was the best DLC they had for sure.
That's why you need
Ever. I
competition
think
because you need different
that's
types of games,
Yeah, and they have so many IPs too. Like to lose the exclusive argument and not have exclusives, or at least not Signal now. You have so many games: Conquer, Banjo, Star. What is that game? The game from Activision.
Oh,
It
StarCraft.
was StarCraft. You have Banjo. You have so many IPs
They
that you
even
could
have the
just
catalog from Atari. I'm sorry, from Activision from the 70s all the way up until now. So you could take IPs from back in the day, from the Atari days, and just throw them on there. You know what I mean?
You can have Doom Halo crossover. You can have
That's it.
you can have a Doom Halo crossover. You can mix that game. I mean, be real creative. There's so many things you could do.
You could
And
do an
have it
arena
exclusive.
shooter with all the 90s shooter characters, except for Duke Nukem because Gearbox won't give them up, which they should
Right.
because they ain't
Well,
doing nothing with Duke
right.
anyway. But you get Duke, you literally have all the 90 shooters in one spot. Forget about
I
it.
feel like when you make your games, when you don't have that sense of platform too, and this is from a developer standpoint, and you do your games for Game Pass and have a multi-plat, your creativity takes a hit
Yeah.
because with the Game Pass, you just basically you're running through the motions. Humans in general do better when the pressure's on,
Yes.
and I'm not talking about excessive pressure, but I'm talking about pressure where you gotta you have trials and tribulations versus cruise control. Let's be honest. Now, this got into be a whole thing with crunch and stuff like that. There are studios that take advantage,
Yes.
but look at the studios that take advantage. Look at the games. Naughty Dog. Again, when you're struggling like that, I'm not saying that you should have that, but when you're struggling like that and you're crunching like that, whatever that does, believe it or not, it has a real effect where the games just come out better and they're done better.
Just like any other
And that's
job, though.
because
I mean, when your boss is up
that's
your
right.
ass, you're going to get the job done and you're going to get it done right, or else you're out. So,
Exactly. So there's that pressure, and I'm not advocating for crunch, but you
no,
know what? I'm advocating for real results and real pressure because if we're being honest about it, the studios that have always been under crunch, like I said, are always the studios that deliver.
yeah,
Naughty Dog is the most famous one. I mean, it does come with the territory, and yeah, they went overboard, and they weren't compensating people, and they should have. They were wrong. I don't listen. I know how corporations work, but
right.
um, the reality is that Game Pass deflates that. The creativity takes a hit when you don't have exclusives. Like if you have an exclusive, and you could say, "Hey, we're gonna make a Doom Halo crossover because Halo, we don't want Halo team sucks, and we want id to work on it. We're gonna make a game where, we're gonna go kind of like Halo 2, where you played as the Prometheans, I think it was, whatever the blue guy, I forgot the name.
The Arbiter.
Remember that?
The Covenant,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you could play
the
as the
Covenant.
elites
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, yeah. You play as the elite. And you could have like a dual thing, and then you fight. You could either you could be real creative. The point is that you could be creative, and that game, Doom Halo crossover, could possibly do real numbers. Like it could be a hit, like a real big hit, and then
Yes.
that's your exclusive. That's the way you get people in. Like if you can have real deal awesome exclusives and really good games, and you're betting on yourself and you're betting on making games great, and you get that, and you're just in that, and you're in that mindset, your console's going to sell. You're going to take people back. You're going to get people back on the platform. You're going to get people spending money. But when you have this whole unrealistic view of like making games and putting your games all over the place, it's like that doesn't work. Like in my opinion, if you're going to go multi-plat, there's no reason to have hardware at this point after this. Like after Xbox Series, you just sunset it, like Seamus was saying, and then just be done with the hardware
Yeah.
because
They got to pick a lane.
you got to pick a lane. And you know who always said that? Mike Ibarra.
Wow.
And he was right, and I agree with him. They never picked their lane, and it hurt them. It really has hurt them, and they need. This is another one. Pick your lane. Go exclusives here. At least signal it. We'll be flexible, so we realize that it's a type of thing, and the way you could sell this to Sati, unfortunately, because we all agree that he's really the guys. You say, hey, we want to work out day and date. They could sell it that way, because I realize that there's other things at play, but I want, like I said, as an Xbox fan, I don't want the games for free. I'd rather just pick and choose and buy. Game Pass conditioned me to buy third party. I never bought the Xbox games. I also saw the lackadaisical approach to what happens with it. Shannon Loftus said it. Other people have said it. You get basically the FUD. You get people. They're not taking their jobs as serious as they can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot in development. Yeah, I just they have to. I think the Helix might be a hindrance because now they have to work around the old regime's console, which was programmed more towards the PC element, and they can do it. If they can figure out a game plan, they can make it a home run, but it's going to be really tough. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
Well, especially when you have people skipping, like Resident Evil 9's not on the Xbox store, Aliens Fireteam 2 skipping it. It's like, how is this all gonna work? Like, you don't have everyone on board yet.
yeah, that's
You
a
know,
big problem.
Well,
they're gonna have to
I'll
figure
tell
that
you
out.
one thing. Yeah, nobody's going to do Xbox anyway. You're never going to get mass. So this is what I would do. I would, and I said this. I would redesign the X. I would get it to be smaller and really cool. I'd have it. I'd have it the new logo with the old. Remember the Xbox that it was that color, the green color, like the see-through green.
Yeah, yeah,
Remember that Xbox?
yep.
Yeah.
I have it.
So
Of
I would
course, I
do
have.
that, and I would or whatever. I have a really cool Xbox Series X. I get rid of the S, and that would be your entry. That would be your entry model, and then for the pre-built and for your PC market, the kids, I would actually add a headset to it, and like ship it with a headset and be creative. I'd make it. I'd have the Xbox Series X at 600 with a new controller or whatever, a really good price that could beat everything. Because I really believe if you baseline the X, that's like the best S that you could ever have.
Oh yeah,
So so you redesign the X. You have the a really cool control. You have a really cool design, and that's your console. Okay, that's to the casual. Then you have the Helix. I would have it with um, the new controller, but I also have it with a really cool headset. Because again, you're now if you're going to do the whole thing, and I have an optional keyboard to it, but I would launch it with a headset
right.
because my idea is that you have kids that they don't want the console, but they want to stream. And I get this a lot from people because a lot of people talk to me, say, hey, Tim, my son wants a PC. They don't like the consoles. They want to stream. They want to do this.
It's exactly
So
what
you
his
can,
nephew wants, by the way.
right.
Yeah.
So you can get those people. Me and you and everyone here is probably going to get the Helix because it's just like, okay, it's just insane, whatever. I want the headset. But the casuals can still buy the X and it could be really cool. And I probably would buy the redesign X too and put it upstairs.
Yeah, me
So
too.
that's the point. Is that you can do this and be creative. Again, it's creativity, it's being bold, it's not being scared, it's not putting cinder blocks on your legs and saying, hey, I can't do this or I won't attempt this. This is what I don't want to hear. And I see, you can't do this. They'll never do that. Like you have to take those words out of your vocabulary and you have to say, we're gonna do this, we're going to do, and that's the type of energy that I believe can fix Xbox.
Right.
It has to be that way. It can't be a defeatist attitude. That's all I see is a defeatist attitude all the time. And then I see people like Jez and other people like they do this weird counter argument to themselves, to their own counterintuitive or counterproductive fan like argument with themselves, like, or just saying, oh, well, they can't do that. No, you can. There's nothing wrong with being bold and saying, hey, I realize kids want to stream. So you put a headset in there, you make it $1,200 or whatever, you make it more expensive and more powerful than everything else. You have the PC and because you're in the pre-built, you'll get all the pre-built models. You'll get all those people. You get a lot of kids that can afford it. But then also you'll have the console, which will be the cheapest console and be a strong baseline that has cloud support. And then you could have the Xbox Series S. You won't redesign that, but you just have that with cloud capability and whatever games you can play. Then you have that at $299 now, or you just get rid of it. I would just get rid of
Yeah, I
it,
would
but
get rid of it.
whatever that, because you want to have you don't want to have three, you want to have two. So yeah, you discontinue the S, and you could sell it. You could play cloud games, obviously, but you discontinue it, and there you go. Your X, your redesign X, with the cool controller, cool design. That thing will sell a lot, and you could even call it like, whatever. You just got to be creative, and then you have the Helix. And that's the only way I could see this going, like, for them to do it, because the Helix itself, like you said, is a problem because it's going to be more expensive than PlayStation 6, and
Yeah,
that's another problem.
that is a
So
huge problem.
again, they got major major issues. But again, the only way I could see them fixing this is just be bold. Don't be afraid.
Yep.
Don't imprison yourself with your own own reason, your own defeatist reasoning. Actually jump out of that and say, let's go about this in a real cool way. Let's go about this, and let's be that story where people talk about us from 10 years, and they say, well, this is what Xbox did, and they did it.
Right.
And listen, it's not impossible. It can happen, but again, it's going to have to take real leadership, and you got to stop the bullshit. So the
Exactly.
first step is to get Gears exclusive. That's the bottom line.
You know what they say, nice guys finish last. Sometimes you gotta be rough. Look at PlayStation. They will hesitate and stop at nothing to destroy anything that they can. They will pay and get exclusives, and they keep their exclusive. They're even cutting out PC. Like, they are willing to do whatever it takes. And I think Xbox should stop. They should stop playing by those their rules and play by the rules of the competition, and just do it. I mean, that's the only thing they could do now. It would work if if PlayStation said, "Here's Last of Us, here's Spider-Man," and they put their games. Yeah, it could work, but they're not going to do that.
No.
Nintendo's not going to put Mario on PlayStation and Xbox. It is what it is.
100%.
This is the market, and they got to fight. That's the only thing they could do.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like a huge fight. It just has to be like a commitment to you, Frank, and a commitment to you, Perry, and a commitment to me, and a commitment to real Xbox fans. And when people say, "What about who cares about you guys? You guys are the same with me. You're a geezer." And like, no, dude. Like I said, I lived
We're the
through
ones
this.
actually spending money on this stuff.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not afraid to spend money.
Yeah.
I'm not living. And it's not even about that. Most people, like I said, just like when we talk about the casuals, people don't understand when Gears is on PlayStation. They just don't understand that. They think of Gears, they think of Xbox. Have you ever heard that? I think of Mario. I think of Nintendo. Xbox is the only company in the world that says, I want to put Halo. I think of Halo, and my head explodes. Like, come on, like, it's very simple. You're gonna get me on going on a rant. I mean, that's another good point. I think of Nintendo. I think of Mario. I think of PlayStation. I think of well, who would be their main guy in PlayStation? For
Sackboy,
PlayStation.
Astrobot.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I would like they have a bunch. Or I would Joel. You think of Joel
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. But they always do have that person or that identifiable. Sony does a great job with games, but yeah, Xbox, you think of Halo, that's like Mario on, like, Xbox had Mario, and that would be like DEFCON 5 for Nintendo. Because they realize that people don't want that association. You want to have association with the stupid guy's wearing a PlayStation shirt. What is that? What are they thinking up there, man?
A big slap in the face to all of us.
What are they thinking? That's not normal. Are they smoking crack? Like, I was like, are they doing drugs up there? Like, what are they doing?
You know what? You guys got the wheels turning in my head though, that this whole push is totally like has Satya written all over it. Like, well, why not just saturate the market with our stuff? It's like they think it's like Windows, like, oh, just put it everywhere. And it's like, no, like there's so much nuance to the gaming sector that they don't
Yes.
understand. And that's the biggest problem.
I think Asa's trying to understand. Where Satya is like doesn't want to understand. That's the one thing I like about Sasha. Is she really like I know she talked to Jay Allard, she talked to Seamus, she offered to talk to that guy. I think she said somebody was bashing her and she said, let's
Oh,
talk.
the
Sean
Sean Layden,
Layden.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
We call him
you
the
know,
rat.
like yeah, so what so she is I have to say, I do really I really am impressed with her as far as like for somebody who isn't a gamer, she wants to understand those nuances. She wants to understand people like us. I do think though that there is an element of, hey, like make this make sense. We just were on a, we just were taken for a huge ride by Phil. Like I do think that there's that. Like you have to realize that sure they look at the situation Xbox is in, and now they look back and you could tell Sarah's thing is she's nowhere to be found. Like
Right.
like they just paid her off, and I don't think she's happy. Like she probably signed an an NDA and is probably looking to get out. I mean, but like the point is that I'm sure that upper management like Satya is not happy. Well, they definitely weren't happy in January. Like they realized like, whoa. But that's on Satya to be honest, because the information was out there. There was just a lot of gaslighting. Or I guess that's the word, or whatever the case is. And I think that unfortunately Satya got played a little.
Yeah.
He was, he didn't understand it, and he doesn't understand why things are the way they are, why, Xbox is not popular. I'm sure he doesn't understand what happened. I don't I'll put it this way, when the whole thing with PlayStation and Sony was going on and the games and all that stuff, like Satya just didn't have a care in the world for gaming. He's thinking
Right.
about cloud, business sector, enterprise. That's his mind, and he's very good at it. But his mind
Yes.
isn't like, what is a PlayStation? He just wasn't. He just it was Xbox was always a side gig, and it was treated as a side gig, and it unfortunately was like a side project with Microsoft. And then when they wanted to make it a real project, or like a real a core of their or pillar of their company, and they wanted it to be aligned with 30% profit margins and all these metrics that it doesn't work that way. It's a totally different animal. There's so many nuances, as Frank has said, and there's so many things that you really have to have a deep understanding of the psychological aspects of consumers, of casuals, of cores, of what goes on, what the talking points are, what the biases are against Xbox, why they hurt themselves immensely with the DRM, what the perception is, with the localization. Like if I said, "Hey Satya, what's with the localization in the Middle East with your Xbox? Did you ever get that fixed?" He would look at me like I had two heads. He wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about,
No.
you know.
And I think he's
But he
much
should.
more
He sh-
he's scrutinizing much more since he cut the $69 billion check. Because now he's like, wait, I need that
yes,
money back. And it's like but he still doesn't understand. And like you said, he should know these things if it's that big of a section of the company.
right,
But
right,
maybe
and
that's
he's
why he's
spreading
cautious
himself
there
too
though.
thin. But what also happened too is that the reason why also what they got pissed off is that when the company is making like their $4 trillion market evaluation, and then they lose $1 billion in the market evaluation because OpenAI takes a hit, freedom of speech, and biases in AI models, specifically ChatGPT takes a huge hit, and they lose money, and the market starts to crumble that way. Then when that happens and you lose $1 trillion, then you say, I spent $100 billion on Xbox and they're absolutely sucking. That's when the finger pointing starts, and that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what I talked about too in January, because what happened was they backed ChatGPT to be similar to what Google is. Like when you search, do you use Bing or do you use Google?
Google.
Google.
Okay, what does everyone use?
Google.
Google. Who uses Bing? Like, maybe 2%, 5%. So what happened was they thought the AI LLM model of choice would be ChatGPT, and it was all trending that way. But this gets a little bit dicey here. But what happened is that late 2025, people realized that ChatGPT had an implied bias to it, a liberal slant, a pro foreign country slant, and they realized that the information that was programmed was not really telling you uh, all the facts, or it was telling you a biased slant. So what also happened was that you had something like Rock 4.2, 4.19 or whatever come out, and that was very non-biased, still has biases, but it was much more information, much more readily available, things that are not restricted. And then this whole open way of going about your searching AI and doing your AI tasks and this and that. um People realize that there's biases with these LLMs, and they said the worst one is ChatGPT. So the whole thing where the world was going to go to ChatGPT and that was going to be the next Google for AI, and obviously, you use AI for a lot of things now, making images and I mean I use it much more and more. I use Google less and less. When you realize that ChatGPT and people start realizing on a mass level is like biased or has a slant, and it's being talked about, people start pulling away. And
Oh yeah.
now you were supposed to have an LLM that was 95% of the market. Now it goes down to like say 60 or 65. The money that Microsoft put in to OpenAI and backed, they thought it was a sure thing. And then everyone knew that they put all the money in, that they were heavily invested. And then that's why the stock dropped on the AI. But the point is that so Microsoft had this big problem there, and they lost $100 in the market evaluation. They went from 534 uh, stock value of 534 points to 380. I don't know what it's at now. They went down to 380.
Wow.
They lost over $1 trillion
Ooh.
in market cap. So that the point is that when that happened, then they looked at their company again and they said, "Who's the underperformers?" And the person in the room was Phil and Sarah and Xbox. And then that's what happened. That was part of it. And Call of Duty, they lost probably $1 billion over 2 Call of Duties because they didn't get the revenue from people on Xbox. That, if you guys remember, Mountain Dew, Doritos, Xbox buyers always bought Call of Duty
Right.
on really high levels, like a lot. and you lost that because everyone can just get Game Pass, and then your Game Pass for whatever reason didn't even grow a million subscribers. It just stayed plateaued. Maybe grew up a little, went up here and there, but with the Call of Duty. But the point is that they were the person in the room with the biggest problem, and that's what happened. They just said, you know what, you're all fired.
Wow.
And now they're trying to build up again, and we just went over the whole situation. I mean, we really covered everything tonight. I mean,
Yeah.
we could just play this on replay until June 7th.
Yeah, right.
I mean, holy shit. We went to the stock price, but that's really what happened here.
Yeah.
And now they're in a position where Satya is like, yeah, I want to be a video game guy now. I want to learn. And it's like, okay, well, you got to start really learning. You got to start being about it. And I honestly feel that he's never going to be that, but I do feel like Asha really is trying to become like us. Like she's trying to be, obviously because it's her job, so she's getting paid a lot of money, but she really wants to understand us. She wants to understand, as Frank said, the nuances. She wants to understand everything, and that's great because she'll come to the conclusion in 27 days or whatever it is, 26 days, that exclusives matter. And I think that, I think that she'll realize that the economy of Game Pass doesn't work.
Right.
She already come to that conclusion. She'll also come to the conclusion that exclusives matter. She'll also come to the conclusion that the core dictates to the casuals. She'll also come to the conclusion that she needs to be bold and match this energy that she has going around with Xbox, because that's all her for all the things that we went in on all of this and Xbox. They've had a good couple of months, and I guess we'll talk about the Forza thing, but that's a colossal mess. But it seems like they're handling it in a good way. They're banning the consoles, and they're for 8,000 years, which is pretty funny. But I mean, she is doing good, and that's why I have hope.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like I've always said, I give her the benefit of the doubt because I heard her credentials about Home Depot and all that stuff. Here's the thing with me, because I'm in retail and sales, I always get people that they want to apply for a job at my place, and they're like, they send me. I don't even ask for resume. I'm not hiring anyway because it's a small business and all that stuff. I don't have the money for all that stuff to do workman's comp and all that. It's crazy. Monthly, you have to pay out the ass for that stuff. So I don't even bother with it. It's just me and my wife, and that's it. But people will send me resumes, and they'll be like, "Well, I beat Final Fantasy this, this, and that," and I'm like, I don't care what game you beat. You got to know retail. You got to know the business. And people always say, "Oh, well, Phil's a gamer." And they're saying, well, this lady's not a gamer. I was like, good. As long as she knows what she's doing business-wise, I'm fine with this lady. So,
you think the Rockstar CEO is a gamer? Whatever his name is, the German guy. He don't game.
The Rockstar guy? Oh, yeah, no, he's a business. Because he always put out those statements saying that, like, oh, we don't care. We just want money. Didn't he put out like controversial statements over the years, that dude?
Yeah, but the point is that he said he said that Game Pass doesn't work for them, or that model would never work. Or he made some comments, but the point is that it's not hard if you're an intelligent person. It's not hard to really dive into this and understand it, and understand certain things, and pick up things that if you're doing that for 8 hours a day every day, and you're a business person, you're, like you said, your business side is gonna take over. It's gonna take you to the obvious points where you have to hit, you know what I mean, or the
Right.
obvious spots. Whereas like being a gamer, but not being realistic, which Phil wasn't in a lot of aspects. Like I don't think Phil ever really really faced problems head on. Like, he always kind of diverted, and then, it was always it seemed like a fast sell and then pivot, a fast sell, and, do things for the short term, and, not really to his defense, because I do think he has to own it, but he was dealing with upper management or management over him that wanted to axe Xbox. And we could say this, and I bash Phil, and I say he didn't do a good job here and there, but I'll always give him that he wanted Xbox to live, he wanted it
Right,
to
right.
survive, and he tried like hell. But the short term successes there was just basically extending the lifestyle until he couldn't, and then that's when he was fired.
Yeah. Now the Forza deal, I mean, we don't have to get too much into it because it's, we're nearing the end. But quick thoughts on that?
I think
Everyone's
it's I
pretty.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Frank.
No, go
No,
ahead. Go ahead.
I've been talking so much. No, I just think it's why you should have full exclusives. Like, why, if they can ever get back to doing full exclusives, because they just can't help themselves with the PC side. It's always something. It's always something that's negative, or this is disappointing though. I think they handled it good, in kind of cleaning it up, but it's not good to have that. Just to have that order, to have that, it's shitty for the developers. It's shitty for the people who want early access. It's an optics thing,
Yeah.
and a guy just didn't hit a button to encrypt. Like, come on.
And also,
Again,
I don't know if you,
is it a laziness of the Game Pass? I don't know, but that's not normal to just not encrypt. And they did it on another game too, Lego
Lego
Batman.
Batman, yeah, which was actually on the console itself. So somebody wasn't paying attention yesterday.
It's so bad. Like, you can't have these mishaps. I mean, again,
Well, Warner Brothers, remember what happened with Sega? Okay, they pissed off a lot of third parties and they left. Now
yeah.
you potentially pissing off Warner Brothers. If I'm sure Warner Brothers doesn't care, whatever. They're probably laughing or whatever. But at the same time, they probably not laughing if people cancel their pre-orders because they freaking played Lego Batman at their friend's house like 10 days early or 20 days early, whatever it was. But you don't want third parties to pull out. And that's a situation where, Warner Brothers might turn around and be like, you know what? You can't keep your stuff secure. We're going to leave.
Well, it's highly unprofessional for both games. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
the optics is no good for that.
Again,
Like,
it's like you said, the optics, man.
I don't
It's
want.
just,
I mean, listen. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, it just always becomes like, it shouldn't become a problem where we're like, put it this way, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be talking about it. That's the
exactly.
bottom line, and we are. So, don't make me feel bad when I don't listen. I don't want anybody to get fired. All right,
Right,
I
right.
don't want that. But that's so bad. Like, it's just, you gotta be able to do. It's like, put it this way. It's like your job is to go into a manhole, okay,
Mm.
and you open the manhole up, and you have a hole in the ground, okay, and you secure it off, and then you clean up everything, but you forget to put the cover on, all right, and you drive away. And then some guy is walking and falls in the hole and dies. Okay. Am I, what happens? Like,
you're
that
getting
it's like,
fired
you're getting
and sued.
fired, and you're getting sued, and you're not like, I get it. You maybe, whatever, you might have had a phone call and you got upset. You had a fight with your girlfriend. Maybe something worse happened. It's unfortunate. Yes, it's unfortunate that the guy didn't hit the encrypt button. But again, it's this doesn't happen anywhere else. I don't remember Sony ever. It's always Microsoft doing these things. It's like, I hate to say it, like, Sony. Sony does. I don't know. I mean, Sony did have the 24 days of online. That was a whole. That
Didn't
was
they give Yakuza
just
6 out by accident? They uploaded the demo and it was the full game.
yeah. I don't know. I just feel like Xbox always has a problem with leaking stuff.
Always.
Always has a problem with like they always have something really cool, and then like somebody else is like talking about it. Like, oh yeah, it's out on the internet. What? Like, yeah, the game's been cracked or what. I don't know. It's just unfortunately um Asha's had a lot of praise, and she deserved criticism here because again, that's loose ends. Again, if the guy leaves the whole thing open, what happens when somebody falls through? It's the same thing. I mean, maybe that's a little bit more drastic and it's involves somebody falling and getting hurt, but you in a sense you are hurting all the developers that made the
Yes.
game. They want to feel good about a game. It's like I'll do one of my other crazy, and this is why me and Mooch got along because we would do these like analogies, and he was the best at them. But it's like going to the wedding day, and you go to the wedding day, and uh, you have a dress, let's say, that's been delivered, and there's a shit stain on the on the dress. I mean, like it's just like you can't have a screw up like that. You can't. Yeah, it's just like I'm getting tired now, but you can't have that. You can't have a screw up like that. Like there's no way around it. Like so, I do think that I have to say I like the way they handled it, but again, we shouldn't have this conversation.
No, and what if it was a game like something crazy that had a story
What if
to
it
it
was
and the story
Gears?
got
Forget
leaked?
about it.
Yeah, like
Yes,
what if
good
the whole
point.
story got leaked out early and and people are
Great
like
point.
jerks
And the
and they put it
spoilers
out.
are out. Well,
Yeah,
that happened to The Last of Us, right? Didn't that
I
happen?
remember.
Happened to
Yep.
Wolverine
Yeah.
also
And
a
that
couple
was
years ago.
horrible. So Sony does have these, but yeah, no, this is the second. So Asha's been pretty much smooth sailing, and these things that usually used to happen like clockwork with Phil, this is the first one that's pretty notable. The other one was the Halo, but that was a Sarah Bond era, a Phil era with Halo Studios with that guy Glenn Israel when he was like he was like he basically suing Xbox and the studio, the creative artist, and said that they were doing this and this, and
Oh yeah.
that was pretty bad optics, but it did it. She seems to be much more on the optics than ever. I think she's really quick on that because I did notice, you know, like the 8,000 year thing, like that's a big joke, but in a way I enjoyed it because it gets you thinking. Like, they could have just said lifetime ban. That doesn't really, it doesn't really get you talking, but the 8,000 gets you talking. It's like, well, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? But it's like that person will never get to see that. That Xbox will never. But the point is that I like her optics.
Right.
And that's again why I feel like there's something going on here that's good. Gears social media saying the F word. I
Yeah, I
like
saw that.
that because you know that's uh, that's meaning that they're willing to go outside the box. Phil would never do stuff like that. Phil would never be. He would think that that's unprofessional, or not. Believe it or not, like from my understanding of Phil, he never had that. Like if it was something that was serious, he would be very serious about it. Where I like that Asha or the whatever is going on that they kind of handled it. To say they handled it well, I honestly, for all that the mess up, they handled it well. They had me laughing with the 8,000, and I think people kind of, it's not blowing up the way these things used to fester, and I think that's a credit to Asha. She's on top of things. She's not a gamer, but you know what? She's in the moment. So that's why I keep saying, write your stuff. I'm gonna send you emails. I think she'll read the emails too, because she wants the information. She wants to block all the information in her head and then make decisions. And that's why I think ultimately she's going to make the decision with Gears, and then who knows? She might one day say, "We're going full exclusive, guys," and have another a mic drop moment with Helix,
I would.
because they do have other problems, which will go into another show. We did a very good job here today, but the optics, I mean the Helix presents a problem too, as Perry, you know, the points that Perry was making are very valid. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's, are you having a store, or where you can have a PC? What is it? Like, it's supposed to be a console, but it has Steam on it. Like, there's so many questions. And again, a console buyer, if you're gonna have a console, wants simplicity. They don't want to think.
Right. Yeah, I would say. I forgot what my other point was going to be, but that's all right.
About the 8,000 hours, about the optics of Asha being on top of stuff, Asha being very
Oh, okay.
taking in all the information.
Yes. If I wrote this in my letter, send a rep down to GameStop or something, and just survey the people. Because when they were doing that $420 to trade in your Xbox Series X, my buddy was there since they opened, because he hangs out over there. Dude, he said there were people lined up at the door almost with Series X's. It's like you need to ask every single one of those people, why are you getting rid of this thing? Like,
That's a good point. I remember Sean Lading. Um, when I started talking to Sean, I looked into a little of his like what he did with Sony, and one article about Sean stood out with me, and it was him talking about, as CEO, that he went to, this is roughly what I remember, but it stood out to me about what he's about. He said he went to a Sony plant or a headquarters, and he went unannounced, and he walked around with like a low level. He didn't say a low level, but just like an average guy, and he was like, he said, "Show me the workings of what you guys do," and he did it because he wanted to understand it, and he wanted to understand what's done at that level, because a lot of times what he was getting at, it really is the little intricacies and the nuances and the things that go on that many times CEOs think that they're above. And that's what really, like, in my opinion, would make, I would think Asha would be, it's a great idea for Asha, but again, when you think you're a CEO, in my opinion, and you act like you're above people, I mean, to me, that's counterproductive. I think the real CEOs that make a difference are guys, or like with the story with Sean. I feel like that actually, if you understand the little things about the big picture, a lot of times the little things about your organization or any kind of information tell the whole story.
yes.
And it's like I can liken this to, and I'm getting tired, but
Oh yeah.
the it's like when you take data and there's a block of data, they have this data that's called headers, or it's like a portion of the data that basically, it's like the communication line. But the point is that sometimes the smallest little things and the things of understanding the smallest avenues, like GameStop, just like a low level thing, not that that's low level in a demeaning manner, but like those little things tell you everything that you need to know.
Exactly.
If you sit in a loft, and you never get your hands dirty, and you don't understand the what makes everything run. Sometimes doing something like what you suggested means the world. It really does. It gives you so much insight, things that you miss because you're in your little padded world that's up in the air, that's detached from reality.
Exactly.
And I think that that's a great point. And I think Asha's the type to actually do that. And I hope that she does talk to Sean, because if he does, you know what, I'm gonna tomorrow. I'll tag you, or just, I know you look at my posts. I'm gonna find that article, and I'm gonna send it to her, because that, and I'm sure she'll read you, and I hope that she reads your email, because that's the stuff that they need to do,
Yep.
because that really gives them the big picture. That tells them everything. They need to stop acting like they're, just because they have a name CEO means they know anything. You really know stuff when you actually you do stuff, and you actually find out, and you talk to people, and you don't talk to people just because they have a big uh a connotation to their name or whatever. They're a president, or they're a VP. You talk to a person that's sometimes just the person on the street, or the person in the game store will tell you something that will just flip you and make you understand something. And it'll be that answer that gives you the inspiration to make the right decision.
Exactly. I think that's what they need. Even if they do like at Best Buy or something, do like Xbox Day or something, have a guy in a Series X costume. We joked about it last week, dancing or break dancing, whatever, outside the store. It'd be like, what is that?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm going in there.
of
What is
course, you
that?
get people talking. They
Yeah,
don't
get
have
people
that.
talking about it. Oh, that's an
And
Xbox.
when they
Xbox
don't,
is still around. Oh, let's go and see what's going on. They have a new
yeah.
machine. What's going on?
And obviously they're on to something. You look at the analytics. We went over the analytics the last two shows.
Yes.
They're very good. So people want to love Xbox.
People
So
want
it's like I
Xbox.
told Lulu, people want to love Xbox. Xbox just got to give them something to love, but also Xbox has to, you know, they just got to embrace it. They just got to embrace the
Yes.
whole thing, and they just got to stop being afraid. There's no reason to be afraid. You're on the cliff. If you don't step forward and start making different moves than what you do, you're taking one step back, one step back. Now you're at the cliff. If you take one more step back, you're going down the cliff, and you're never coming back.
Exactly.
So it's they need to have those moments. They need to do things that are creative, like doing that. Go to a GameStop store, maybe go to do this to the Sean Layden. Like I said, I'll do that type of exercise, or whatever you want to call it. But they have to have urgency right now, because it's an urgent time, and that's because of 2 years and massive deterioration of the brand. Every single day, optics, bad optics, bad optics, jokes, jokes. A guy wearing a Halo shirt, and then there's like thousands of memes making fun of him as a cuck, with Master Chief tied to a chair. I mean, come on, like, only Xbox, man. But I think or at least thank you guys for always letting me platform here. I mean, I'm part of the show, but I think that you
Oh, we
guys
thank
really
you.
get it. And no, I mean, like, you make great points. Frank is, Frank, when you talk, man, and I obviously talk a lot, but when you talk, Frank, you make a lot of sense. Like, you
Thank you.
nail it. So you get
Thanks.
it. You get it. It's just that, um, sometimes, you guys you let me talk, so, and you listen, so we're all listening to each other, but we all make great points, and we just gotta hope that hopefully they do the right thing. Like, hopefully they just listen, do the right thing. I'm not the one to say the right thing, and that's just my opinion. But how about have a just have a little Gus, just take a risk, or actually
Yes.
just step out of your box of conformity, and do something different, like have an Xbox guy dancing in front of a GameStop, just like that. Like, yeah, Do something like that.
Yep.
Or actually, drop a mic and play into the theater or something. Stop being afraid. I'm sick of the afraid corporate thing that was going on for so many years. Nobody cares. Everyone wants to see people actually act like they care and make jokes and actually, laugh at themselves. Maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, Xbox, because once you get the
Don't be a
crowd going,
robot.
it'll be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We're out of here. Chat room, thank you so much for being there. I know we didn't get to the chat this week, but eventually we will. But we had a lot to talk about tonight. I want to thank Frank. I want to thank Tim. As always, Tim is awesome on
You
this
guys are
show.
great.
And
I'm tired now. I'm going to
Me
sleep.
too.
I'm so sick of X, but maybe I might turn the show to X Daily Dog might be a single dog
oh
tomorrow.
man, I don't know.
Maybe
What?
just let Shiv talk about it. Shiv's a good guy. I know that you guys listen. He really is. He's good and he's learning. But I like Shiv a lot.
Yeah, he's cool.
And I'm really happy that he comes on the show. He's a good dude.
Check out
So are you
Timdog.
guys. I'm glad that I've I think that guys like you are gems in the community, honestly. Like
Thank you.
and yeah, it's always the gems that like us, like, or I would say you two. Again, people view people, like, unfortunately in this generation, where like they think somebody with more followers for some reason is, and I listen, I have a lot of followers, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, the people who make the best points to me, whether it would be politics or even Xbox, it's always the people that really don't always have these massive followings. A lot of time, mass followings are for the wrong reason. You have to understand that.
Exactly.
And it's because they did something that went viral, or they get hated on, or whatever the case may be. But, um, your voices are real, genuine Xbox voices. And that's what I have to like about the show is that, like, we're real, genuine Xbox fans. We want to love the brand. We don't really want to do, we're not looking to make thousands of dollars. We're not playing. We're just saying, hey, like, we just love Xbox. We want dancing Xboxes out, Xbox Series X's and GameStop. We want fun things. We just don't want to be irrelevant, and we don't want our libraries to, us to be like pissed off 10 years because some weird thing happened where you can't access. Who knows? Like, you never know. And we guys know games get delisted, weird stuff happens, court cases. Who knows? Whatever the case is, you never know what the future holds. And I think that it's only fair for us to speak on what we think the 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 Xbox needs, because we want to be fans. We want to be proud of them, or we want to be proud consumers that we get what we want, but we also want we like Xbox. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a cool brand, has everything working for them, but you can't leave manhole covers open, and you can't do stupid things that are counterproductive to you. You just can't. And you can't also say that these things are good when they're not. And that's what we'll
Exactly.
never do. We're just going to give our opinions and, take it for what it's worth. But, I can honestly say you two guys are like, for Xbox fans, you're wonderful Xbox fans, and Xbox should recognize people like you and
Thank you.
others that are like yourselves and us, basically. We're fans for year. I mean, I'm day one Xbox guy. You know what I mean? So
Me too, almost.
uh there
by
you go.
a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think I'm a couple of weeks too. I had to wait a paycheck. I think no, yeah, I think I had to wait a paycheck to get Xbox, which I did, and then the story is, and I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I saw Halo, and I said, "What the heck is this?" I saw it on the shelf. I said, "What?" I picked up the game, and I go to the GameStop guy, and I said, "What's this game?" And he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "You better get that game." And it was Halo,
Oh
Combat
man.
Evolved. I said, "Why?" I said, "I just sold like every one in like an hour," and I said, "I'll take it." And then
Wow.
I got the console, and then the funny thing is that while we were buying it, somebody came in the thing and said, "Do you have Halo?" And he says, "Nope, he bought it. He's the last one."
Oh
So
man.
that's my story with Halo. That's a real story. Um,
I traded my
I remember.
I
I
traded my
remember. I looked at it.
sorry, go
What was
ahead.
that? No, you go.
I traded my brand new GameCube, a month old, for the Xbox because WWF Raw was coming out in January, and I was like, I need that game. But I looked at, I don't like football. Like my dad was a huge Raiders guy. I'm not like a football guy, but NFL
Oh, yeah.
Fever, I was like in between NFL Fever and Halo. I was like, which one do I get? Like, I'm not a football guy, but the game is awesome. Like I played the demo of it.
I love that game.
Yeah,
I wish they could bring that game back.
I would love that. And I ended up going with
That game was
Halo.
great.
So I got Halo and Xbox, and that was it. I was off to the races. Like,
Yeah, I got that. I got NFL Fever. I actually got Halo. I remember I bought the console that I got NFL Fever. I think I got that was the game that I got from what I remember. But I remember seeing Halo and I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. And I asked the guy, and that's what happened, that story. And then
yeah,
I had MLB Inside Pitch. You remember that?
yeah, I remember.
I played that. I think I bought a couple of I remember Xbox Live. That was great. Being a beta tester. Xbox was it holds it definitely holds nostalgia well, and again, I honestly feel that Asha's getting better every day, and that's why she's like we talked about, she's going to go exclusives or some type of fix here. I think you have to go exclusive. But anyway,
Yeah,
thank you guys so much. Honestly, you guys are real deal Xbox fans, man, and it's a pleasure every week.
it's a pleasure having you on every week, Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right, good night.
Good night.
See you later.
All right, you can follow Timdog every day, Monday through Friday, on his Twitter/X Spaces at 4 p.m. Eastern. They're called the Daily Dog with Timdog and his co-host Shiv. And you'll see Frank and I listening in the I don't know if it's not really a chat room, it's just a waiting area. You'll see Frank and I in there listening. And sometimes one of us will buzz in if we have to. But I like listening because, Monday we talk to Tim, so I don't want to take that away every other day from everyone else on Spaces. But if something crazy happens, I might chime in. But shout out to Timdog. Thank you for all the kind words. And he's awesome too. He doesn't have to talk to us, but because of Noof, he came on, and now we're doing a show every week, and I can't believe it. It's amazing.
Love it.
So shout out to
love
him. I
listening
love
to
it
the
too.
Spaces, and I love doing the show with him.
The Spaces are incredible, and the show, is incredible as well. So, chat room, if there's any questions, we'll take questions for 5 minutes, and then we'll head on out. I was gonna wrap it up earlier because Tim had to go to sleep, but we don't want to keep him all night either. Does he save all his spaces? I would go to his Twitter account or X account, whatever the hell it's called now. It's called X. Go there, go to his page and just scroll down through his timeline, I believe, or maybe is it under media? Maybe, I don't even know. They should make a spaces tab so you could just find all the spaces, but they don't do that.
Yeah, I think usually they're uploaded. You could re-listen to them. I don't know how long he keeps
Just
them up, but
look for the time at around 4 p.m. Eastern on his timeline, and you should see a link for it.
yeah,
Mento still has the OG Xbox Emerald translucent console with Halo and Halo 2. Me too. Isn't that crazy?
It's a good console.
It's a hell of a good console. We got Dreadpool in here tonight. Master Cheeks didn't help. Yeah, it sure didn't. Yeah, if you listen to Tim's Space from today, he was like, he was raging. So
Yeah, today was a really good one.
it was a good one. It was a really good one. Can't wait for June, says Scott. Yeah, I know. Well, we'll all be together, most of us here in the chat. That's gonna be either a good day or a really bad day.
The fight will break out.
It might be a fist fight. And by a fist fight, I mean Fred's gonna get punched in the face by somebody.
I'll have to smash another Xbox.
Hey, Fred might be punching people. Who the hell knows what's gonna happen?
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll say this, guys. If Gears E-Day, if that's not exclusive in June, if she doesn't put her foot down with one of these top games, she's got to make a statement. And I think that's all our sentiment here tonight. If she doesn't make a statement like that, a big, bold statement, it's over. Like, you know, we go back to doing what we were doing prior to a month ago.
Yeah.
Because it's just never going to change. They have a huge uphill battle. I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat that. They have a long way to go. Even if they make, like Tim was saying, even if they make Gears exclusive, they have the next step they have to follow. And do they want to stay on the ride that long? Like, we don't know. We hope they are, because we want to be there for Xbox. We have our libraries on there and all that. But I mean, I also have PlayStation. I have 17 PlayStation 5s in this house. I have 11 Xboxes. I got rid of 5 of them. What was it? A couple weeks ago now. I got like maybe 14 Switch 2s or 12 Switch. I don't even know how many freaking Switch 2s I have laying around the house. The point is, and I build PCs, so I'm good with that too. So you can't come in here and say I'm a fanboy or whatever, or I'm a delusional Xbot. Not delusional, but you need this brand to survive for competition. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of doing this show. We want people to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect us either way. We have all the consoles.
Doesn't
but it's for the
affect
health
me
of
either
the
way.
brand.
Like, it does, at the end of the day, whatever. I'm good. But I put a lot of money in my Xbox digital library, and that's what I'm kind of wondering, where do I go with that? That's why I stopped buying games for the last 2 years on my Xbox. Because it's like, all right, I'm going to pull the brakes back a little bit and see where they go. And it's been a car crash the whole time until this lady joined. When Asha joined, it's like, okay, thank you. We've been waiting for a new head coach. We got a new head coach now. Let's see what she can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's over if they don't even remove Halo.
Well, it's going to be kind of messed up that it's going to run better on the competition again. That's a
Yeah,
whole
well,
nother thing too.
Man, he's right. They should pull it. They should cancel those ports and just be, they're not really tied to it. Did pre-orders even go up for that on PlayStation?
I don't think so.
The page is up, but did they do pre-orders? If they didn't do pre-orders for that, just fucking pull it.
No, it just is announced. I don't know, man.
You could pull it.
They could pull it.
They could cancel the port. They could just use remember the CMA? They were worried about them making low quality games on PlayStation. They could just say, hey, you know what? It just wasn't, we were reporting it and it wasn't living up to the standards of the PlayStation. They could just lie and say that. They lied about everything else. Who cares?
If you go to the page, I just went to it, and you scroll down, there's a whole thing that says more Xbox Game Studios titles on PlayStation, and it has all the like. This is just messed up. It has Gears, Forza, Flight Simulator, Sea of Thieves, Ninja Gaiden, Grounded. You could just pick them right here and pick and buy them. It's messed up, man. Like, this is so wrong.
Well, Sony fucked everyone by pulling the PC games off so that Microsoft could pull their games off of PlayStation if they really want to. But that's the thing, man. They have to figure this out. Like, maybe they don't pull those games. They just leave it be. But going forward, you have to pick a lane, man. Are you going full exclusive or are you going full third party? If you are, please let us know. Because the other guy was acting like Christopher Lloyd or something. He's running around like Doc Brown, screaming and yelling.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not.
The guy kept going back to the future.
We screwed something up. We got to go back.
Yeah, and he goes back and screws it up even more.
This page alone, as I'm looking at it, is like a huge. They got to just get rid of this, man. It's not right.
Well, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. If Halo comes out on PS5, I'll buy it because it's a novelty. But it shouldn't be on PS5. Whatever. I mean, dude, I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you could fix this, but there's just so many problems.
They even have an FAQ. Do I need to have played other Halo games to enjoy Campaign Evolved? Not at all. This is the original story where Halo begins. Like, they're setting you up for, like, you don't need an Xbox. Like, that's just so. This whole page just rubs me the wrong way.
Pull it.
We'll see what happens.
Pull it. Stop making Gears copies on PS5 physically and delist it. Then that game's going to be worth $1 million physically if you have it. But just get rid of it, man. If you really want to do this, I would go full bore, I guess.
Yeah, either that or just go the other way and let us know, and that's the end of it. And
again,
we'll move on.
I have PlayStation. I'm good. I'm the Pro right here, and I have a Slim right next to it, and I have a Pro behind me. I even have the anniversary one back there too.
Yeah, I think we're good with consoles.
We're good with the consoles. We don't have to buy any more ever. I got my Series X right here. I got one behind me. The Halo Series X is also behind me as well. But yeah, well, they got to figure this out. There's a lot to figure out, and we'll be talking about it every Monday here on the show. So,
yep.
All right, everyone, take care, stay safe, have a good one. Again, shout out to Timdog. Thank you for being on the show as always, and we will catch you guys next